The following program is for mature audiences only. None of the information provided is intended to be medical or any other professional advice requiring licensing through any regulatory agency. It is for entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Amy Satori. I'm an intuitive spiritual counselor assisting in raising the vibration of our planet. I was born with extraordinary gifts, experienced enlightenment for 6 months years ago, speak light language, and channel a being called Celeste, who is an ambassador for a Galactic Council of 60. I am able to scan your energy field for emotional blockages and talk to or aid in the healing of your organs using Qigong energy healing. I can also help you make decisions, talk to your pets, deceased loved ones, and your friends and family's higher selves. I can help you navigate your relationships and answer pressing questions in your life by talking with the unseen world. I use these skills I've developed to translate the images, feelings, impressions, and messages I'm given while tuning into you and your situation. I work Thursday through Saturday as a psychic for the Lighthouse Bookstore downtown Boulder, Colorado, and conduct remote readings all over the world. You can order a private reading from my website at amysatori.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow me here on Podbean, Instagram, my 1111 Twin Flame Forum on Facebook, and YouTube. Set a reminder in your phone to call live on the show any Sunday, 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, or 8:30 Eastern to ask me a question, receive a blessing, or have me do some energy work on you. So, my friends, without further ado, let's get to today's show. And thank you for listening to the Satori Show, everybody. Wow, lots of tower moments happening out there. I don't know if you have listened or watched my video on the tower moments that are going on right now, but you might want to. If you haven't been through it, you could be about to. Tower moments are they're basically unexpected things that shake your world, and it's really a kind of a course correction, or it can be the opportunity for a course correction. So if you're like misaligned with your authenticity, then this will get you back on path. So either it could be career, it could be romance, it could be just anything. So the thing to keep in mind with tower moments is they are there to get you to a better place. They're there to help you let go. So whatever it is that seems to be threatening to leave, or feels like it could leave, or it is leaving, or has left, or looks like it was just never there in the first place, or whatever, however that's showing up for you, just let it go, because the harder you hold on to something that the universe is trying to take from you, the more it's going to hurt. So try to let it go, only because it's not that you're necessarily letting go of that person or that thing like permanently. It's letting go of your attachment to it and being controlling of it. So sometimes when you just completely, get on that roller coaster ride and you just tell yourself, I am in here securely. I'm not going to go flying out of here. And I'm just going to trust the universe that this machine is put together correctly and I'm going to survive this, the better, because you'll go through this adventure faster and easier if you can just cooperate. So what you could try to do if you're going through this, or when you do, is, as always, stay out of your thoughts. Stay out of worrying. Stay out of the future. Stay out of the what ifs. Stay out of the past. Stay out of all your past experiences. Stay out of your thoughts completely, and stay really present in the moment, and just trust life. I was talking to a feminine earlier who wasn't sure whether she should reach out, to their person right now. And, it's funny how we can overanalyze, both the masculine and the feminine tend to overanalyze at certain times, because, the feminine doesn't want to reach out because they've reached out so much and they've done so much. And a lot of their masculines still aren't ready, or they're afraid, or whatever. So their hesitation is, I don't want to keep doing all the work. It's like, at some point, he's got to show up for me. So, but she was like, do you think I should? Because something had happened to him. And I said, let's just be normal people. Let's just listen to our intuition and speak from our heart. Because I think just this year in particular is really emphasizing our need to be authentic, just completely authentic. You guys probably also watched the video about what happened between me and my masculine. I had already let him go, but we were kind of establishing a little bit of a friendship and some honesty, and some things were getting, I don't know, it just felt like it was getting a little bit better flow. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to be friends with him, and that's really all I want with him. But, and then there was this kink that happened, and it was like, oh, well, I guess he isn't quite where I would want him to be in order to be friends with him or anything. So I don't want that. So only align with what is truly authentic for you. And, just say yes to what says yes to you. And if something says no to you, go another direction. It's just really that simple. And if you feel like reaching out and it makes sense for you to reach out, and if it makes sense for you to just express your heart, then do it. Don't be afraid to do that. So anyway, other announcements are that you guys have like pounded in my head for at least a good year, these two things. When are you going to have classes or workshops, and when are you ever going to mentor? And so it's here. The time is here, you guys. You can go to my website, and I am going to be doing some collaborations with these other three folks that are here in Boulder. We're going to begin here. We have a workshop coming up March 3rd that's going to be a full day, one-on-one event. It's going to be mixed company, 2 divine feminines, 2 divine masculines heading it up. And it's going to be all about authenticity. And it's going to be a really awesome thing. So once that's established, when that goes well and we feel the vibe of it and we see, everybody kind of rallying behind it, then we're going to figure out a way to do like a webinar. And so all 4 of us are going to be involved, probably on Zoom, and we're going to be able to reach a lot more people doing that. So this workshop coming up early March is going to be kind of our guinea pig. See how we all work together and see how it's received. And we are called A New Earth Academy. So we have a Facebook group, and I don't think we have Instagram up yet, but it should be shortly. But if you go look for A New Earth Academy, you'll find us in the forum in our own little group, and you could join us and find out more. We have an Eventbrite already set up, so you guys can reserve tickets now. We have different levels you can sign up for, so it's totally affordable. And you may even be able to just get an audio of it, I think. So we're working on all the details right now. So and if you're interested in the mentoring, then go ahead and go to my website, amysatori.com/mentoring. I can only handle so many people to do this with. So if you're interested, I would look as soon as possible. And so I'll probably take, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 people a month, something like that. I'll feel that out. That might be too many. So we'll see. But I will teach you every trick in the book, everything that you could possibly, anything that you think you can't do that I can, I'll teach you how to do it. I'm all about evolving the planet, so I'm not going to keep my secrets to myself. You guys can know anything that I know, and I will help you any way I can. Okay, so I am going to take the first caller. And all of you who are on hold right now, thank you so much for being here. And I will be with you as quickly as possible, and we'll see if TD gets on the line pretty soon to greet you. Hello?
Hey, Amy.
Well, hello.
Hi. It's Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
I just wanted to let you know that, I should let everybody know that I have a friend that slipped on the ice and fell and possibly cracked his rib. And I had asked him if it was okay if I had a friend do some energy work, healing for him. And he is a total skeptic. He's like, yeah, whatever, it couldn't hurt either way. At first he's like, well, who is she and what do I have to do? Which made me laugh. It's like, you don't have to do anything. She can do it remotely. It's just energy
What am I
work.
getting myself to do?
Yeah, that's what he was like. What do I have to do? What do you mean, energy work? What do you mean, healing? It was just kind of funny. And he's like, well, sure, okay. And so I had asked you to do some work on him. And I waited about 20 minutes later, and I almost fell out of my chair because when I asked him how are they feeling, or how he's feeling, he's like, to be honest, I kind of do feel better. At least my ribs do.
Wow.
And he is a total skeptic. And I just laughed and I said, yeah, she's good. So I wanted to let you know that he is feeling much better.
Good.
And I did ask him just a little while ago, again, how he was feeling. He's like, they still hurt, but not as bad as they did earlier today. So he's still doing much better than he was.
I'll continue to send him some energy healing for that.
Yeah, because he was like, it almost floored me because I didn't know if he would actually tell me the truth, if he was feeling better or not, but he did. He totally straight up said, yeah, I do feel better. At least my ribs do.
And so cool. I love it.
So for everybody out there, even if people don't believe in it, I was made sure to get his permission first.
That's very important. I can't work on anyone unless I have their permission. So,
yeah, I made sure to ask if he had his, if my friend could do this, and he's like, yeah, whatever. But even if somebody doesn't believe, it actually can help and work. People don't always have to believe in it for it to actually help them.
That's very true. That's very true. Thank you so much. I'm glad you shared that with us. I appreciate that.
Yay.
Anything else?
That's all I really had. No, that's all I really wanted to let you know and tell you. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
I will let you get to other callers, and I'll just be on hold.
All right.
Listen to your amazing show.
Thank you so much. Okay, and let's see who's next. Oh, did you want to be on the show? Because I just saw that you... Okay, hi.
Yes.
Did you have a question, or should I put you back on hold?
Actually, I was just calling in to listen for the first time before I get brave enough for questions.
If I promise to be gentle, will you talk to me?
Well, I'm not. You know what? I'm just very private. That's what.
Okay. What if we talk in code? What if you don't use any names and you just ask a really general question? Would that help?
Okay.
Because I can still read between the lines, believe it or not.
No, I believe it. I've been listening to you for a little while and been really quite amazed at what I've heard. And I've been thinking about also setting up a private reading. I just haven't. I'm a cautious person, so I haven't done that yet.
All right. Well, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yes, I think so. It seems that way.
I'm glad you called. So, is there something I can generally help you with?
Well, my life has changed dramatically in the last several years, and especially the last 2 years. And it's all been essentially by choice. It's mostly been choice.
Okay.
And I'm intentionally trying to really move forward into more joy in my life. And I have recently been thinking, I just feel like it's like I know what my potentials are, and yet I hold myself back and don't allow myself to move forward into them for some reason.
Okay.
And it's almost like it's almost like I'm maybe afraid of being happy. And what's kind of funny is I'm a Virgo, and someone just yesterday, a Virgo astrologer, was talking about how Virgos will intentionally keep themselves from being happy. So
isn't that
Virgo on a life path 9, and it's been quite yeah.
Wow, I can imagine. And life path 9, is that like the Mayan system? Because 9 for the Mayan system is like patience is their thing.
Well, actually, by the numerology, the like destiny life path, the humanitarian, where you're to be learning about letting go.
Okay.
It actually fits very well with Virgo. And my Virgo is my 1st and 12th house, and my 12th house has my sun, my rising, my Venus, my Mercury, and my Pluto, and actually my North Node is the very first degree of Libra, but still my 12th house. It's just,
okay.
So it's
I don't know what all that means, but I know that it all means something.
the 12th house is your house of undoing. It's very, yeah.
I mean, all that stuff really intrigues me. I just wish I had the brain capacity to remember all of that. It's so involved. Any of you who are also like what? It's astrology, and it's very in depth and detailed. And I mean, I really respect people who get it. It's pretty amazing. I mean, the real astrology. I'm not talking about this is what a Leo does. This is what an Aries does. Aries does.
Right.
I mean, this gets very, very involved. It's like the time you were born was so incredibly important, and it just it's your blueprint or your template for your life, and when significant events will happen and all of that. I mean, it's unbelievable how accurate it can be. And there's an Ayurvedic system, and there's just so much to it. But all right, so let me feel into what you could possibly do to get around this self-sabotage mechanism.
Okay.
Well, they're explaining that Virgos tend to just look like they are a little bit I don't know about the signs myself, but this is just what they're telling me, is that Virgos tend to obsess over details and get they ruminate, and they cling. They cling to thoughts. So
no, it's true. That's all very true.
Okay. So they're
know that you'd be able to find your way out, but it's and you can work on it and you can make progress, but it's kind of that automatic thing. So if you go off your guard, you get pulled right back.
Okay. So there is what they're saying is this kind of take that same obsession or take that same focus on thought and focus it on space in non-form rather than form, if that makes sense. You can direct your attention. What you put your attention on accentuates and builds and becomes more of. So if you're spending a lot of time worrying and thinking of doom and gloom and the worst case scenarios and things like that, then it's like this vibration goes out. It's like if you can think of a tuning fork, there's a sound that goes out to the universe and attracts more of that type of a sound, more things for you to worry about, more things to spin out on and things like that. But if you put your attention inside, if you put your attention on the peace inside, if you put your attention on the spaciousness around you, the openness, that meditative state, or at least introspective and trusting of the universe. And this is where I'm asking everyone or encouraging everyone to be in this tower, in this time of things falling apart, the eclipse, is try to get in that place of trust. And sometimes, you flat out don't trust all the changes. It's gosh, changes are really, really scary, right? But And it's hard to just say, oh, well, I just know that there's this big thing or this big force out there that's going to take care of me. And you're sitting there going, I'm all alone and I don't know if things are actually going to happen in my favor. You know, maybe somebody's just telling me that to make me feel better. And I mean, just your head will go on and on with all those types of things. But you can actually train yourself to only pay attention to the affirmative thoughts, and by using affirmations and things like that. And you can kind of like you can hone in on that ability and that skill to not allow the doubts in. And when you can do that, either stay totally neutral so you're not thinking and you're just in that trustful state, or even an eager anticipatory state. If you can just hone in on that ability to stay there in that place, that's where all creation comes from. And that's where you are ultimately the most vulnerable, but also the most powerful you can be. And that's how we're actually like, that's our authentic selves. That's the true beingness of who we are. And when we're in that space, it's like the universe conspires to make everything happen for you. And yes, you could think that I'm just saying that, but I've actually seen proof of it in my own life. I've practiced it. I've honed that skill. And I've seen that it's very true. What you believe actually manifests. What you believe in manifests. What you think about things actually happen or don't happen. And we are becoming more and more powerful beings as the ascension of the planet is happening. And what we are thinking is very, very important. You can't just be lackadaisical about the things that you think. You can't just allow yourself just to follow worry down the way. Just catch yourself when you're worrying or when you're thinking a negative thought, and correct and get back into the place that you need to be, that authentic place you need to be. And you're going to stay right on course to where you're going much, much faster and easier. So they were also saying something about how you said, I'm making all these changes, but they're by my doing, you know, but they're by my doing.
Yes,
they want.
Okay.
Yeah, your guides are saying that you think it's you, but it's the ideas are given to you.
Well, you know, it's kind of okay. I'll admit to something. I am a twin, and I didn't know that. It really started when I was actually quite young, and then actually I was told that information 4 years back.
That you're a what?
A twin.
Oh, okay, like a twin flame.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And thus, all the changes have come in the last several years since that person returned.
Okay.
And comes and goes, as you know.
Oh, yes. I know it well.
So, yes, I know that you do. So I guess one of my, you know, and it's funny because I understand what you're saying, and I definitely have my times where I feel like I'm on a track where, you know, everything is conspiring with me for the more pleasurable results, and then my doubts come in, and then things don't look so great. But then I also question, like, some of the changes I've made. Like I just moved twice in the last 2 years, and this second move that I made, I was totally blown away by, because I only lived in the house that I bought for 16 months and decided to sell it. And that was definitely not the plan when I moved in. And when people were saying, oh, a lot of people are going to be moving this year, and I'd laugh and go, well, that's not me. I already did that. And I did end up moving, and it was a choice, but it was almost, I feel like I was almost pushed out. It was like things kept happening that pushed me to a place where I thought, I can't live in this house anymore. And yet I don't know if I don't know if that's really the case, if all those things were happening, conspiring to have me leave, or if I was imagining it.
Well, if you can, and this is where the Virgo does the micromanaging. And I think, I mean, you're not the only sign that does that. This is what our ego's job is, to get us to micromanage, so we constantly doubt and question ourselves. So you're not alone. But, I mean, I've moved probably 20, I think I counted like 22 times in the last 10 to 12 years. I'm like,
I can't begin to imagine that.
I can't, it's like at one point, I remember I was married and I had moved to Texas, and I was the one, he had a job where we traveled a lot. We stayed in a lot of hotel rooms. We bought houses and we rented places before we'd get into the house. And I was always the one that took care of the household and put everything away and put everything in its place and all of that. And I just remember we went to one rental place and it was beautiful. It was right on the lake and everything. It was awesome. But I just got there and I collapsed on the couch crying. And he was like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm so tired of moving. I can't move anymore. And it's like I had to have that. Yeah, and I want to settle down. But that may not be in the cards, literally. But that's okay. It's like every step of the way, you're being prepared and you're being strengthened and you're being reinforced for what what your calling is. And part of your purpose might involve having to be flexible with where you live, so if it's like when we get into the overanalyzing, that's when we can get kind of stuck in the murky mud where we find the unhappiness. It just gets your thoughts hooked on, am I doing the wrong thing? And if you can just start training your thoughts to always know and always trust that moving is a great thing, that everything that's happening for me is happening for a reason and it's great and it's all in support of me. If you can convince yourself of that and don't let these tower moments and big changes or anything like that just fluster you, it's like, hey, this is awesome. Like what miracle is on the other side of that? Follow the synchronicities, follow your intuition, follow the things like, the other day I woke up with this idea of something to say to my masculine, and for example, and I had like typed it up in a text or something, and then a friend of mine, first thing in the morning when I talked to her, she said, I had a dream that you actually made it in a video. You sent it in a video, but the same words that you're talking about. And I was like, oh, well, okay. So I made a video and I sent it. So it's just amazing how you get supported when you trust. And I wasn't worried about it. I was just trying to stay really in a centered state where I just had clarity about where I was coming from, and yet open to whatever he had to say or however he was going to come back at me or whatever. It's like you can't be so stubborn that you think that your way is the only way to see anything. The key is to stay really flexible and to stay really open, to know where you stand at the moment and be clear and authentic about that, but also be completely willing to consider any other thing that comes along, any other opinion, any other belief, as long as it's supportive and as long as it backs you up and makes you feel good. So the only thing that can ever make you feel unhappy is what I'm getting to, is that is a thought. I mean, it really just comes down to that, because if you can stay either neutral, where nothing really, where everything just stays in a nice neutral place, or if you can feel excited about whatever's happening or has happened, then you're set. Then you're good. You won't be miserable. It's only those thoughts where you're saying, this shouldn't be happening, or maybe this should be a different timing of things. It's like thinking things should be different than they are is what will make you suffer and unhappy. So I do have some really great tools on my website at amysatori.com/resources. If you want to check out some different people who teach you how to get really present, things like that, or you could try my Thank You God for My Misery exercise. That one's awesome. That way you can see that the bad things that are happening or the supposedly scary things that are happening are actually in support of you, and they're actually awesome, and they're really helping you out right now. Your guides knew what they were doing when they put you through that, in other words. You may be lured into a scary situation, or you may be gotten into a situation where maybe you might feel like your job is threatened or something like that, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. It always is, always. You just have to train yourself to look for the blessing in it?
Well, I think that in general, I'm just pushed to make changes, period, just because change has always been very, very challenging for me. I like things to be comfortable, as in staying the same. So, yes.
Well, you can make your new comfort change because it's all in the way that you look at it. You know, maybe you can tell yourself, well, if stuff stays the same too long and it gets stale, maybe that's scary. You know, I don't know. You can trick you can trick your mind into anything as long as everything is changing around me. It's all good.
Well, yes, it definitely has. The last couple of years, 2.5 years, it's definitely been changing constantly. So I am getting better at it, and I'm pretty darn good about not judging things when it comes to other people and other situations. But when it comes, so I'm very neutral, and what other people do doesn't bother me for the most part. I can usually look at it like that's just what they're learning or where they are. But when it comes to myself, oh my gosh, the judgment is, I have a hard time not being judgmental with myself.
I want to feel into that for a moment because I think that that's really key. You know, I think that we're evolving and we're changing into learning how to be our own best friend. And really, if you can think about, I know this is going to sound funny, but like sometimes one of my good friends, she'll be like, when I go through something, she'll be like, well, what would you say to do? I'm like,
exactly. I have a friend who says that to me too. She's like, you'd be saying this to me if this were me talking.
Yes. Yeah. So be your own best friend. You know what you're doing. It's just that you get lost. We get over-identified with our egos, and we, get into all the survival stuff. But if you can if you can just remind yourself, oh wait, I have a friend inside. Let me go in here. Also, you can use your intuition and do I do this divine guidance council thing that's just incredibly informative sometimes. And that's all about, it's basically just sitting down, propping your pillow up against the wall when you're about to go to bed, taking out your diary, and you just ask questions of your guides and go through one at a time. What do you have to say? And then you invite the next one in, and then you picture, it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a guide or an angel or anything like that. It could be a rock or a Kleenex or anything at all. It could be an animal you used to know when you were 5 that you totally forgot about, but you just ask the animal or you ask the object, what is it that you're here to tell me? And then they'll have this great message for you. And it's just been it's so profound sometimes if you can just trust it and don't judge what you're seeing. And what's really happening, what's really kind of cool is that's you being there for yourself because that's your higher self giving you advice. So you're giving yourself your own advice. And I think we're evolving to that point where we can learn how to be self-reliant. We can learn how to go into our own intuitions as to know what to do about things. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just, with regards to what you were saying about when you said trust it. So especially if I'm taking a salt bath, I feel like I'm really connected at that time. And I can just, it's I want to call it a dialogue, but it's really not. I would say it's more like a monologue where information is just coming in, just I don't hear it as a voice, but the words are coming into my mind and they just flow like someone's talking to me, and it just keeps going and going nonstop where I understand it at the time, but by the time I got out of the bath, I can't remember half of it because there was so much.
Wow.
And I think to myself, but here's where I go with my doubts. I think, well, is that just me making stuff up? Or am I really receiving information? So I doubt myself about whether or not I'm actually connected to something kind of beyond my physical self, or if I'm just kind of creating stories in my head.
Yeah, I did that for 20 years before I started the show or started really getting, into this. Seriously. The guy who helped me get into this podcast was just like, I knew her like 20-something years ago, and she's always doubted herself that whole time. So, we all go through it. But it's like now that water is one of your powers. So we all have different kinds of things that kind of fuel us or recharge us. It could be mountains, it could be nature itself, or it could be rocks, or it could be a bath or water. So now you know that water is something that helps you be kind of a conduit for your higher self and for your guides and things like that. So that's great information. This could happen in just about anywhere where there's water. You could even have a little trickling waterfall in your room, like one of those little mini ones. And
actually, I now live in an apartment for the first time, and I'm on the 5th floor, but I have a pool with a waterfall right below me. So that's actually brand new for me. But I just have to open the door and hear the water.
Yeah. So yeah, you could do that. And then the other thing is I would bring your phone in there with you, or a recorder. And okay. I would just go ahead and record it. And what happens is if you start recording it, either using the exercise I was talking about and writing it in a diary, or you start dictating into a microphone, what you'll find is that the information that comes through ends up being accurate later.
Okay.
So start keeping track if you can, and start dictating this information, writing it down somewhere, keeping track of it somehow. And I've been using this example a lot lately, but it really is kind of astonishing. I did a council meeting one time, and the word Esther appeared before me, and I thought it was Esther Hicks because I'm certified in the law of attraction. So I thought, well, of course it would be Esther Hicks. But no, she said, no, I'm Esther from the Bible. And I said, Esther from the Bible? Like, what? I don't know anything about you. And she was like, you know more than you know, but, you wouldn't remember in a past life. Your twin flame was my son, and you guys were neighbors and best friends, and you guys were obviously twin flames in that life as well. You grew up together, and you knew how to deal with his stubbornness. He's very, very stubborn. And at the time, I didn't even know him very well at all, and I would never think that he was stubborn. He didn't appear that way to me at all. And I wrote it down in my diary and everything. And then I did a bunch of research, and he's a marathon runner. And when I did the research to find, she said it was her only son. And so, and I knew nothing, I just got curious and I Googled. It turns out that Esther did only have one son, and that one son was actually responsible inadvertently, for the name Marathon even existing. So that was unbelievable. And then months later, I saw the stubbornness. And I thought, oh wow, yeah, he's stubborn. He's really set in his ways. He's very stubborn. So, that's, you can learn to trust it by keeping track like that. And you can learn to trust it through, just kind of, and what'll happen too is you can practice with your friends and things like that. You might get downloads for your friends and tell them, and they'll say, oh my gosh, I was totally like my other friend, her telling me I had a dream about you giving your masculine a video. She trusted that. She told me. So if you get downloads on other people, or if any information that comes through, just try to put it out there and keep track of it and bounce it off of people, and you'll develop more confidence.
Well, one of the things that does happen for me is when I talk to friends, if they are expressing something where they're having, say, a difficulty with someone that they work with, who is someone I've never met, and, the friend lives, many, many, many miles away. And all of a sudden it just all comes out. I just start talking and start saying, well, your boss is feeling this, and this is going on, and this is what they feel threatened about, and blah. And it just all just flies out, and they go, you're right. And I don't even know the person. I didn't think about it. It just comes out.
Well, that's going to become less and less of a weird thing or a rare thing or a surprising thing. We're all evolving to this. We're all going to be telepathic. We're all going to be transparent. We're all going to be able to read each other's minds. So that's why it's so important we step into authenticity now. Because if you're trying to hide things in the future, it's going to be pretty hilarious. You're not even going to have the ability to do that. So you may as well just get straight now. You may as well straighten up and fly right, baby. Because we'll all be able to see it.
So that's just kind of a part of a telepathic nature of things. That's just kind of...
Yes.
Okay.
That's our nature. I believe it's our nature. Only because the reason that I know this is I used to know about the law of attraction and all that kind of stuff. But when I was enlightened, I actually saw that I was still, like, the ego part of me was tiny, tiny, tiny in the background, still observing what was happening to me, but most of my beingness was in Christ consciousness, and I wasn't a human anymore. But I was observing the whole experience, and one thing that I noticed was all I would do was notice a need, like I would be hungry, for example, and I would ponder for just a moment, might be nice to eat. And I swear somebody would come through the door and say, hey, there's an extra sandwich we made for lunch. Are you hungry? Do you want one? So everything was so easy and so automatic. It was unbelievable. And I was a community relations director at the time and bringing in probably like $10,000 at least a month. And it was pretty awesome, but it was like super high pressure. And I remember... in that enlightened state, my boss took me in his office and he's like, Amy, I just need you to do your magic. We've got, 10 to 13 empty rooms right now, and we need those filled by the end of the month. And so normally I would have probably, lost sleep over it and, just really stressed out. But at that state, I was just observing myself and observing him and just kind of looked at him like, okay. And so I pondered it for a moment. I thought, no, okay. I guess I better get to that, and I just got up out of the chair and walked away. And I think it was just 2 or 3 days and all the rooms were filled. And everybody was walking through the door convinced that they needed to be there and wanted to be in that community. So that's just a really good example of how we are these natural manifestors. When we're lined up with that God source energy, things just happen magically. They really do.
Well, I was going to say, you didn't really have to do anything. It was, I guess, your state of being is what did it, right?
Exactly. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. I mean, and I have had small, nothing that tremendous, but, that was that involved. But I've certainly had times where something I think in my head and all of a sudden there it is. But I also do the default negative side of that too. So that's what I need to banish.
So we have a lot of people listening tonight. If any of those of you who are listening would like to actually be on a call now, you can hang up and call back and let TD know if you've changed your mind. Otherwise, I'll keep you on hold. And I do have another caller, just one more caller otherwise. Okay. So are there any other questions or is are we good for now?
I'm good for now. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for opening up. I appreciate that. I know how hard that can be sometimes.
Have a good
night. Thanks. Okay. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
This is Catherine. I've had readings with you before.
Hi, Catherine.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I
got your recent post.
Yeah.
I got your recent post. That's a good place to be. Why don't you share with our listeners the conclusion you have come to?
Well, it's kind of heartbreaking. So it was actually funny because I spent Christmas with my twin and things were amazing. Like, I felt like we were in union because things were just so incredible. And of course we live in separate places, so I came back to Vancouver, and then the eclipse happened, and I was like, oh, it's going to be fine. We're in such a good place. Everything's going to be fine. And of course, as soon as the eclipse hit, everything changed. And I just started feeling really unhappy in the long distance situation we're in. And I did ask him straight up, do you think you're ever going to move here? And he said, oh, I want to move there someday. I don't know how it's going to happen. I can't move right now, blah, blah, blah. And just over the last few weeks since the eclipse happened, I've just been feeling so unhappy, you know, just missing him all the time, waiting, like in that waiting situation. And I just felt like I could physically feel how toxic that energy was.
Yeah. And
we were fighting a lot. I was feeling really resentful because I feel like I've waited for such a long time. So, sorry, I'm pretty emotional right now.
Yeah.
So last night I just said, we had another fight, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't spend every day fighting with you or wondering where you are or wondering if you're ever going to move, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Catherine.
It's okay. It is what it is. And I guess I wanted some guidance because I'm in such a state. I want some guidance that I did the right thing.
Yeah, I get a yes. And here's the thing. I mean, I kind of opened the show with this a little bit. You probably weren't on yet, but all the change that's happening right now is aligning you with your higher purpose. And so the listeners know this too. Your twin, that where you live is his ideal situation. That's where he wants to be. His dreams would come true there. She's there. It's his favorite place to be. He really loves it. His kid would do awesome there. You know, I mean, it would just be the whole thing would be an ideal situation, and the only thing that's holding him back is not thinking outside the box, pretty much, right? Yeah. And feeling controlled by a karmic partner.
Yeah. And he, you know, I just don't get it because, he's just thinking inside the box and thinking this is the way things have to be. And he loves Vancouver. He loves the hockey team here. It's his favorite hockey team. Like, he loves everything about Vancouver. And I don't understand why he can't just see the possibility of something else.
You know, honestly, it's like, I've been experiencing this or seeing this also lately, and it's like there's a term for it. It's called cognitive dissonance, and it's basic denial. And it's the inability to even see outside of your perspective. So he's so boxed in by his beliefs and ideals and whatever is holding everything together for him that he can't. It's like the Four of Coins, if anybody knows the Tarot, the Four of Pentacles. And what's unfortunate about that is they keep themselves completely stuck and out of, they keep themselves from having their dreams fulfilled. But the cool thing is the eclipse is this is what it's designed for. It's like the universe brings these eclipses to shake those guys up. I mean, it like the universe like takes them and rattles their world to break them free. But sometimes that involves you completely letting them go, unfortunately, because that's what it'll take for them to wake up and see their potential. It's just like in the movies where a man has to he'll only take so much torture. Like maybe, it's like I'm just thinking of all these like villagers, like a village being taken over by, and all these women are getting raped and crazy stuff's happening all over, and this man is just sitting there watching going, this is horrible, and then finally he just can't take it anymore, and he pops in and he starts like kicking ass. So a lot of these masculines, they're not going to take action. They're going to be martyrs. They're going to feel sorry for themselves and tell themselves they're not worthy, or they're, not equal, or they're not, why do they find me special? They're the special ones. And it's just like, okay, can we get over who's more special or who's equal, or can we just say that we love each other and just like try to make it work, So,
yeah.
But if he's not there yet, it's almost like the universe puts blinders on them on purpose. It's like he is not to see it until he's to see it. So try to trust in that. Try to trust that the universe knows what it's doing. And if he's not supposed to see it right now, he's just not supposed to see it. And he will when he will. Sometimes that comes a little late. Sometimes you've moved on, for example, or sometimes you've moved to a completely different place. But ultimately, in the big picture, in the scheme of things, if it doesn't come together the way that it's supposed to, it wasn't supposed to come together, at least at this time. If it does, it happened when it was supposed to, too, and things have a magical way of working out, So, like, maybe you leave Vancouver and you end up going to California or someplace like that, and then he ends up getting... Okay, yeah. So then he ends up getting some kind of incredible job offer in California where you happen to be. And you're all settled into this nice place, a mansion, and you got it all good. And you're like living the life, and you've got this great career going and everything. And then he just magically pops up. As badly as you wanted it 2 years prior, here he is, and now you're both ready. So it's so important that we do get to that state where we're able to just completely detach and just free fall it. Just let go, surrender, trust the universe, and just make everything all about being as high vibrational as you can be. Inspire the hell out of yourself. Go after your life's purpose, and
because I actually felt like. Yeah, I actually felt like the negativity of the relationship, like not the negativity of the actual relationship, but of waiting for him, of never being able to see him, of missing him, has actually put me in such a low vibration that it's stopping me from attracting what I want in my life at this point.
Okay.
And I just,
all right, so my guides just asked me to do a blessing for you and to work on some of your energy. Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, cool. For one, they really want you to get your tears out. There is a stone called agape. What is it? That's not the word. Apache tears. Agape. There's no slip ups though. So like love tears. They're laughing. They're like, yes, love tears. So, but if you get that rock, like the Apache tears, and you sleep with that under your pillow, it'll help you with sorrow. And but that's just a little side note. They want you to not suppress these feelings. They want you to really have a good cry, like cry hard for 2-3 days, and really let it out and really let it go.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me work on you here. I just have to adjust my microphone so I don't knock it over. Okay. Wow. Okay. What is that? There's like a, wow. How interesting. Well, instead of your energy being divided between like the masculine side and the feminine side, you're like divided in half by the top from the bottom.
Oh.
There's like a blue line in between. So that blue to me means control. So I know that control is the issue here. And it's kind of like the lower part of you is all about safety, security, passion. Mm-hmm. So I think that you've cut yourself off from feeling that enjoyment of life, the pleasures of life, because of control, is basically what it seems like to me. So let me, as I do work on your energy, I'll see other things. So let me just start working on you here for a minute.
Okay.
They want you to embrace your womanhood too. Like, first, I don't know why I'm seeing breasts. I'm just seeing like embrace your breasts.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I kind of do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me continue to work on you here. Okay. Okay, now they want me to do the blessing part. Okay, hang on just a moment. Ashi mo kon sale in the teka ala poncho sendi in aikai. Ha mo kon sa ala se mo kona e la brona teteza. Asho somo omoka anate la brona teteza sika amomo ai. Hale inato zo nakapai asha insati part la corona. Okay. One of the things they showed me was you dancing. They're saying that music and dancing is going to help you get back on track.
Right.
So
I've actually been thinking about that. Yeah, I've been intuitively getting that I need to do some sort of dancing or something just to get more in my body.
Yes. And it feels like whatever this dancing is, it looks really fluid in my mind's eye, really beautiful and gracious okay. And they're also saying something about, let me see if I can go back into that. Yeah, I just saw like a, I just saw a what do you call those? Megaphone. I just saw like a megaphone.
Mm-hmm.
Like a director, producer, megaphone thing.
Well, I want to be an actress, so that is my dream.
Yeah. I'm thinking that you're probably going to have an opportunity coming. Yes, you're having an opportunity coming soon. You've just got to get you got to switch your energy around to kind of be excited about this coming. I know that you've been kind of waiting for this for a while and it hasn't been happening. But part of it has been like this wonky energy trying to balance out in you. So if you can turn it around, just completely let him go, forget about him for now. No, just trust that life is going to have your back and things are going to work out just like they're supposed to. Then you're going to align with that energy again. And you're going to feel like when you really let him go, you're going to feel like an exhilaration. Every time I do it with mine, I just feel like $1,000,000. I can conquer the world, So get to that feeling of relief and excitement at what's to come. And I'm going to tune into when I think this opportunity might be coming. You know how timeline, just for all of you listening to, it's like when you predict something in the future, it's not necessarily a solid prediction because you can jump timelines anytime there's parallel realities and things. So you could have an epiphany or an idea and all of a sudden you just jump somewhere else. So, but this is a high probability. This feels like a high probability. So let me I get the number 3. So I feel like about 3 weeks and I just saw a heart. So it's like around Valentine's Day, maybe just after. Right. And I feel like you're going to be getting a phone call. So I would imagine this is from your agent. Yeah, I just got a yes. It's not not quite what you've been looking for, but I think you should do it to just go forward for now, and something else will line up. I feel like that project, whatever that is, you're going to get interrupted with something bigger and better, and they'll wait for you to finish up that project. So
awesome. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know that my energy is kind of the thing that's stopping me, and I'm just trying to align more, get my energy higher so that I can just align with that life that I want, that I know is possible for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have to. Yeah.
Well, it looks like a couple of callers have called back. So is that good for now?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Message me anytime. Let me know any updates, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Oh,
Hi.
hi, Amy. I was just listening to the last call, and I'm totally feeling for the last caller. I totally just got empathic when I heard her talking, and I've been there before, and I totally feel her. So it's always meaningful to hear other people's stories. I don't get emotional very often. I was just calling to see, I know that you've been very helpful with people that have medical issues that they can't really find a physical cause for.
Yeah.
And I have something that's like a mental block. And it has physical manifestations, but I've tried everything, allopathic. I've tried therapy. I've tried spiritual counseling and healers who are really capable, but I haven't really been able to get to the root of it. And I figured if you could kind of feel into it, maybe that would help me get a start on my own work. So it's procrastination and not being productive, and basically anything that I want to manifest for myself, I'm not able to move forward, the action, to take the action to move forward. And I'm a naturally motivated, really hardworking person, and I'm trying to launch myself forward, and I'm just finding it really hard. And it's been an issue for a long time throughout my life, and it's kind of affected different areas of my life. It's kind of gotten worse over time. So anything that isn't a rote task that requires brain power, and I don't really know what it is.
Okay. Hang on just a minute. I have this little device plugged in, and it's making a lot of noise. I gotta figure out what to do about this for a second.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Distracting. No, I don't think that's any better, but I'll just try to block that out. Okay. It's wow, yeah, I see it's like it would be like jumping into a great abyss, like jumping off a cliff or something.
Yes.
It's like just the fear of the unknown, I suppose.
And also it's I worry I won't be able to meet the expectations if I were to get something new. And I honestly, it's because I have hit a wall before in real life, and I'm a confident person, so I don't really understand why this is. I just feel like I'm not going to be able to do it or something.
Yeah, it's well, what they were saying earlier when you were talking was fear of failure. So I think that's also what we're dealing with here. And so let me just ask them advice on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as we're going along, we're gathering experience all the time. I mean, from day to day, no matter what you're doing, everything that you're doing every day is giving you more and more experience. You have a tremendous amount of experience in sleep. Yeah? You have a tremendous... You can brush your teeth
like
really well, right?
I sleep really well?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, after so many years of doing something repetitively, you know how to do it really, really well. You could be, you could have your doctorate in going to the bathroom.
Oh,
You know?
okay. I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So everything that you're doing every day, all along the way, if you don't take the judgment out, you're a forever and evolving being, becoming more and more and more experienced in everything that you're experiencing.
Okay.
So if you can look at it like a forever evolving thing and take all titles and take like what the end result picture is supposed to look like out, and you just say, I'm on a journey of expansion, expanding my knowledge, my abilities, my skills, and everything, then if you can keep that perspective, then you're going to lose that fear of failure, because it's going to be more about like this, like, I'm excited about this class I'm taking, and I'm excited about the next class I'm taking, and I'm excited about the next class I'm taking. And now whether the class is in Arizona, or if it's in Oregon, or if it's in Texas, wherever the class is, why would it matter? Just course correct and go to the next class. Okay. So it's more about, it could be worrying about what people will think. Well, how could you go to Texas for that class? I thought you were going to go to Vancouver for that one. And so if you can get to a point where you don't really care what anybody thinks, and you're like, well, I'm taking the Texas class, and then I'm taking the New York class, and then I'm going over to the one in France, if you can just make it real simple, rather than, oh, I have to have X amount of dollars in the bank to feel successful, or, oh, I have to have achieve this title by this age in order to be a success, or I need to have, you know what I mean? If you can take all the labels off of everything and just go forward and start to just, with the focus of learning to listen to the prompting of your intuition and acting on it immediately, I would make that your priority. So if you feel a prompting on your heart, you feel really pulled to do something, take action on it immediately, as quickly as possible, without any kind of a logical assessment as to what you should do, what makes sense to do. Just do it. Because if it's coming from your intuition, it's like the universe will have your back, and they'll have a safety net underneath you. And a lot of times when you follow the promptings of your intuition, you follow like the direction that the universe is giving you, you're incredibly blessed, and you'll have the abundance rushing in, and you'll have like all the support you need. So learn to hold that ability. If you would be really afraid of failure, I would say the thing you should be afraid about failing on is just listening to yourself and acting on it.
Okay.
Don't do that.
I've been practicing that. Like, that's a really, really good way to look at things, and great suggestion. I've been practicing that for quite a while, and I've become a lot more comfortable with the journey versus what you're saying, like titles or amounts or what people think. Much more comfortable. It's just even any activity that requires me to sit still and do it. Like, for example, right now I'm trying to look for a job that I would really like for my career, and just, updating my resume or LinkedIn. It's very, like, I don't get it done. Like, each day goes by and I do a lot of other things, but I don't get it done. And it's like, what's wrong? Why?
Okay.
I have every reason to promote myself.
Well, for one, just take the judgment out of it. Just know that if you haven't done it yet, you weren't supposed to do it yet. Sometimes like I've had it on my mind to get my storage unit or my storage area in my home organized for quite a while. And then I thought, boy, I really need to do that. And then I just kept going, so I guess it's not time. Because until you act on it, it's just not time. And then all of a sudden I was like, I guess it's time, because I got in my car and I went down to Home Depot and I bought a bunch of bins.
Okay. You just have this internal energy when the time is right.
Yes, you'll feel prompted again with the listening to the intuition and acting on it. And it told me, okay, this is the time. And they were on sale.
So I'm just going to go do it right now. Okay.
Yeah. And also, one thing that you can do to kind of alleviate some anxiety around some of the procrastinated items is to write them down on an ongoing list, and just maybe encourage yourself in a disciplined way. I'm going to get one of those things knocked off. The little things. I'm going to do one of those things every night before I settle down and watch a movie, like before dinner, or like every night I'm going to get one of those items done. And then it's just off of there. You've called Amazon. You've made sure about the order or whatever,
Yeah, it's little things that are easy to do.
The little logistical things. Do one every day.
Those little logistic things are really good. Like, for example, my house is really clean. My bills get paid like the day that I receive them, which I do all my thank yous for. I'm very grateful that I can do that. I always, those are not a problem, or just making sure, the rote tasks are no problem. It's the ones that require like a lot of brain power, or I don't know. So I'll just try and follow those suggestions. And like a lot of what I want to do with my life that's really part of my mission and my life purpose requires further education. And I have always, I would really like to have that. And as I've gotten, through the years, it's been harder actually to go to school. And when I'm in school, that's when everything really, really rears its ugly head with the procrastination and stuff. Even like a really not difficult, not demanding assignment can feel impossible to sit down and do. And so that's kind of been a huge, I feel a little bit unable to move forward because of that.
But you're not in school now?
No, I'm not. I had to stop because of all these issues.
Okay, hold on a second. I feel like if you start practicing some of these things that I've told you tonight, try that first.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because it feels like you're going to get in. You're going to be like kind of breaking a dam open, and you're it's going to start flowing better, and you're going to get on the other side of it mentally, and you'll see that things are going to you'll see that you can do it now.
Okay. That sounds really good. That's really hopeful. So maybe I thought it was like a maturity thing, so could partly be that, but I will definitely try those things.
Okay.
So
it's just a change in perspective. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, have a good night.
Have a great day. You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so I've got 2 more callers, just so you guys know. I'm going to get to you guys, but if we could keep it as brief as possible, then that would be great. Hang on just a minute. Okay, are you there?
Oh, myself?
Yes.
Hello. Okay, hi. So I won't take too much time here. I was just wondering, similar kind of question with the other one. I have not had my period for like the last 10 months to maybe almost a year now. And again, I've done a lot of different healing things and trying to figure out what from an emotional standpoint is off, and I still don't have it, and I would love it back.
Okay. So the first thing I got was ovaries. And I believe the answer is in a book called The Tao of Sexology, and Tao is spelled T-A-O, of Sexology, and it's a white book by Stephen Chang. And it has an exercise called the deer exercise in there. Okay. And what that consists of basically is it'll balance out your whole entire female system, everything. Like it balances out your hormones naturally without having to take anything. It keeps your canal tight. It just overall it gets you in a really great space, and even like can help you be happier. And it just consists of and anyone who cannot handle TMI should probably tune out about now. So the deer exercise involves you take a tennis ball and you sit on the side of your bed, and you put the tennis ball against your clitoris and just put a constant pressure until your nipples get hard. And then you're going to do a circular motion in clockwise. You can do clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on whether you want to grow your breasts or decrease the size of them, and or if you want to, it's like one of the ways can almost like encourage cancer and the other decreases cancer. So it's kind of, you got to be careful there. Okay. But anyway, so you're gonna like take your fingers around on your breast, not touching your nipples directly, and you're gonna circulate about 120 times, 120 to 130 times. And then you go on to like phase 2, where you lay on your back and you clench your vaginal muscles and your anus super tight, and you roll the tennis ball around clockwise about 70 times, and then you release, and then you do another 70, and you can do that as many times as you can stand to do it. But it takes about not even 5 minutes every night, and you're not going to get your period back, because it actually can make you skip right over menopause. So super awesome. You're not going to go through hot flashes or any of the emotional ups and downs, moodiness, or any of that stuff. So, yeah. So I think that this can be corrected through doing the deer exercise.
Okay. Can you sense why it stopped in the first place?
It has something to do with the ovaries. And let me see if there's anything that I can kind of work on to get it going before then. This is really interesting. Okay. This is having to do with gumption, because what I'm seeing is, it's funny, but the penis and the vagina are like the same, one and the same. It just inverted, or and it's all about like reflexology and how like when you have sex, it stimulates all of your organs, basically. So, but what I'm seeing is like that the ovaries are like the guy's testicles, right? So when I looked at your ovaries, they showed me like they just showed me this picture that they kind of looked like testicles. And I was like, why am I being shown this? And they said, because she needs to get, she needs to get some balls. in an area of your life, and it feels like your work life, actually. It feels like it's time for you to branch out on your own, either be an entrepreneur or
like.
Okay, so okay. So there's some area in your business where you need to like take the bull by the horns, or not be so timid, or like be confident and go after something. And it's probably been going on about that amount of time. You said it'd been like 10 months, something like that.
About that. Yeah, February last year. So almost.
Okay. Okay. So, hang on a minute. And it's also not taking any flack. Like if somebody pushes back, be confident and have your boundaries and assert your boundaries. Know that you're in the right, and you are the one with the rules. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give that a go.
Okay.
Get balls and read the book.
Get balls and read the book.
Just your daily evening guidance with Amy.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you called in.
Thank you for your insight.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. I'll let you get to the next call.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Okay. We talk about anything here on the Satori Show. Hello? Hang on. Now
Hi,
I got
Amy.
you. Hi.
Okay. Hi. My name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
And I'm really excited to talk to you.
Hey.
So my question is about my twin flame.
Okay.
He is like a lot of them, going through the dark night of the soul. And he doesn't really seem to be figuring it out and making any progress. So, I've tried to be patient, and I haven't really been like necessarily waiting around for him, because I've been trying to keep myself open to other people and the possibility of a soulmate coming in. But nothing is coming around, and I'm just kind of torn. I don't know if I should. I've been considering trying online dating, although I totally hate online dating because I'm an introvert, and that's terrifying to me. I've done it before, and I don't like it. But I've been considering doing that, but I don't know. I thought maybe you could help me feel it out a little bit of like, I don't know.
Okay. Let me feel into it. Hang on a minute. Oh, they said patience, my dear.
Yeah,
so
that's all I've
like
been
something's
told for
coming.
5 months.
I know. I swear, all twin flames, they must have done something to cheat time in the past that they're having to make up for now.
That's
I don't know what they did.
Yeah, I know, because I'm like, what is going on here? Why does everybody have to go through this torture? What just happened? Like, can we not just, like somebody? I mean, I know some people are doing it, I'm sure some people are. I don't know them, but it's not me. That's for sure.
Balancing out. Yeah, isn't that funny? Okay. So let me feel into this, though. Hang on just a minute. Is somebody new coming in for her? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay, let's see. Well, let me describe the guy, and either you're going to recognize him in your life already, or this is a guy that's to come. Okay?
Okay.
I actually feel like he's going to be a runner. And I don't mean the masculine runner. I don't mean him running away from you. We don't need that anymore, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We need somebody running at us. All right. So no, I see tennis shoes, and I see him being a runner. Like that's how he likes to work out. So he's slender. He feels like he's sweet. He's like really upbeat and positive, almost annoyingly so. For me, if I knew the guy, I'd be like, oh my God. But I think you'll like him, obviously, because he's being attracted to you for a reason. And it's cool when you get these predictions too, because I wouldn't be picking up on something that was an unhealthy choice that you're going to have, so because my specialty is true love. So I'm not going to steer you in the wrong direction. So this guy, whoever this sweet guy is, what's nice about him is he just feels so authentic. It's just, I don't even know if he's capable of lying. He's just like, yeah, he just puts it out there. And either it sticks like spaghetti that's ready, or it doesn't. And he's just, he's bubbly, sweet, and up for anything. And I feel like it doesn't matter if you want kids or not, if you could want animals or not, or what. He's so flexible. And he's a good cook, and he eats healthy.
Ooh.
So yeah, if you're into eating healthy, this is going to be great for you.
No, I hate cooking. I like to eat, and I do not like to cook. So I would love to be with someone who can cook, and also who can cook healthy, because not my forte, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could chop the vegetables and he'll cook them. He'll make them into something good. You can be the sous chef. So, also, I feel like he'll be adventurous in the bedroom. I feel like he'll be up for anything there, too. So, very cool. Nice and experimental. That's good. He's also a bit of a romantic. Like, you might come home some nights and he'll have, like, the candlelit dinner and music going in the background and things like that, or want to take you, he'll surprise you on some kind of like getaway weekend or something like that. He's a really neat guy. Really cool. So then what's wrong with him, I'm wondering. Let's just peek real quick. Let me see. How do conflicts go with these guys? How does that... I guess sometimes he kind of pulls back within himself. if he's got an issue. He doesn't feel like you're going to understand. He may jump to a conclusion that you're not going to understand, so he just pulls back rather than telling you. So, but it's pretty good if you confront him, and I don't mean like, but like if you just ask him, you seem kind of reserved tonight. Is there something on your mind? I feel like he would actually tell you. So it doesn't take much to make him come out, but he does kind of like shy away from wanting to have any kind of a fight or anything like that. Let me see what else. I'm trying to think of like advice to give you in also like dealing with him so he doesn't duck into his shell. If you always I would strive to validate everything he has to say. I wouldn't ever make him feel stupid or like he shouldn't be thinking that way, or that, I wouldn't try to correct him or anything. I would just say, hey, that's a valid point. That's really great. Have you considered this or that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't be harsh with him.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's had girlfriends before or women in his life who really picked on him. The way he does his hair, the way he dresses, the way, they all try to shape and form him. Mm-hmm. So if you encourage him just to be himself, he will just be in seventh heaven. He won't know what to do about being accepted. That's kind of sweet.
Okay.
So,
do you think, will I meet him online dating?
Oh, let's see. No.
Oh, no.
How are you going to meet him? How are you going to meet him? They're saying trust in fate. And it kind of looks like you might be in a grocery market or something. It just feels like you're, a lot of these things happen by happenstance. And that's what it seems like for you guys. Like you just happen to be somewhere shopping or something like that, and you guys get in conversation about something. Maybe something falls on the ground or something, and you reach over to pick it up, and maybe he says, they need to stack those things better on those, whatever.
Okay, yeah, because I was kind of wondering, because I'm so people who know me don't think this, but I'm very shy, so I don't make eye contact with strangers ever when I'm out in public. So that's why I don't meet people, because I just don't make eye contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take a moment like that. But yeah, right. But a moment like that would totally, yep. Yeah, a moment like that would totally happen with me, because if someone talks to me, I'm friendly as can be. Like, I'm happy to talk to you, but I will not approach a stranger. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm kind of closed off that way, which has made it difficult for me to find people that way. So yeah, that is funny to hear, because that could be something that would happen. Something like that.
Well, they said. Yeah. Where the universe has a will, they have a way. So they're just reassuring you that there's no way to blow this. There's no way to do it wrong. There's, you're good. This person who's supposed to come to you is going to come to you. So don't worry about it. And you can get, you can, if it makes you feel better to online date. If you feel like it'll increase your ability to be able to communicate effectively, if you want to practice some of these skills of being able to validate a guy's feelings or, whatever, if you want to do that, you can. There's no harm to doing the online dating. And if you never go to a grocery store again, don't worry, because he's still going to somehow meet up with you. That's just how it works. It may not be what you think. And, like I was saying about timelines earlier, you may not meet him here, but you'll meet him there. But the things that I was saying about what he's like and describing him, those will probably ring true. So just keep a lookout for those things. Let me feel into any kind of a time. I feel like I got a 6. So I think it's about 6 weeks out. What is that? That's February, March. So mid-March, you might run into the guy. What it feels like for now, unless that changes.
Yeah, I know. It's all fluid, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I have one question. Is there any way you can see if he has any children?
There was a child vibe to him, but I think it's that he wants. I'm not sure if he has them. Let's see. I think he'd be up for adopting. He'd be up for anything. So I don't think he has kids.
Okay.
If he has kids, then they're with his ex. Do you want kids?
The only reason, well, I have 2 kids. I have 2 boys. They're 13 and 10. So I'm pretty much done having my own children. I'm 41 now. So,
okay.
But the reason I asked is I was doing.
You'd be great with your kids.
Oh, good. Well, that's that's a priority for me for sure. I was doing a webinar with Laura, and she had my grandfather just came through. Like, he just barged in and made her talk to him. And anyway, so she was talking to me, and after the webinar, and she said that she was seeing this really cute little boy around me, like coming and hugging my leg, and she said his name was Christopher, and I'm like, I do not know who that is. And so she said, maybe it was like a future, somebody in the future, because she said, well, did you have any miscarriages or anything like that? And I said, nope. I've only had 2 pregnancies, and they're both here, and they're, a little older now. And so I'm like, I work with kids for my job, but I don't work with little ones anymore. But I love little kids. So I don't know. I was just curious. I just thought, like, maybe it's my future partner's kid. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who this kid is. I don't know.
No, this kid, it could be your kid. It could be, it definitely feels like it could be his kid, his boy. And the name Christopher actually does resonate. So let me just see. Is it his kid that he already has? No. Is it a kid that they're going to get together? Yes. Is it an adopted child? Yes, perhaps. Is it going to be a natural? No, I think it's going to be an adopted kid or some, like a neighbor kid that hangs out. No, not a neighbor kid. They're saying no. I think it's going to be like an adopted kid or some kind of happenstance that happens where, maybe, it could be that he's like a godfather to a child, and the person that he's I'm like, don't tell him this.
I know exactly what you're going to say. That's okay.
Exactly.
I'll keep that to myself. I'll keep that to myself. Yeah.
Okay, good. But yeah, if you, I guess as you guys get to know each other and you see this sweet, cute little Christopher, he might be the one that ends up coming into your life.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Great.
All right. So are we good?
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Good. You're welcome. Have a good night.
Okay. You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So that's everybody. Thank you so much to those who are listening as well. I appreciate you guys wanting to be a part of this. Hello to you. And all of you who are watching or listening right now after the show, thank you so much for doing so. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I put all kinds of cool little fun things in there, little clips and whatnot. So I would encourage that. You just look up Amy Satori, basically. It's really easy. Or if you want to join the 1111 Twin Flame Forum or the New Earth Academy, any of those, you'll be able to be a part of a group and be a part of some conversation that could be beneficial to you. So you guys have yourselves a lovely day or evening wherever you are. Remember that you can call from anywhere in the world. There's something on Skype where you can get a trial program, an international trial program, to be able to call in for free for a month or something like that. So you can always call if you're in another country. And have yourselves a beautiful whatever part of the day it is. And we'll catch you next time on the Satori Show.